Welcome to the Meet the Team podcast. I'm Brady Jolly, and I'm with my friend Aidan, and we're going to just be talking today about you, man, about what you do for us. So you guys been on fire. So Aidan's in the water cleanup department. So why don't we start with personal? Just tell us about yourself, and then we can go into like how you got in the business and that sort of thing.
Okay, so I am 25. I live over in Coleraine. And we actually just got 2 foster kids in December.
Dude, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that you guys got the foster kids. Awesome,
we did.
Man.
Yeah, 2 twins.
Wow, how's that going?
It's great. It's I don't know what I expected necessarily, but it's harder than we expected, but it's the most fulfilling thing ever.
Twins,
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, my wife's got her hands full for sure.
I can imagine. And how old are they?
They are 16 months.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's got to be a wild ride.
It is a wild ride for sure.
And you guys have a couple dogs too? Or?
2 dogs and a cat.
Nice.
And a 900 square foot house. So it's packed full.
It's jammed. Keeps it interesting though.
Keeps it interesting.
So that's cool. Okay. Why don't you tell us about how you got into the restoration and water cleanup business, and then we can go from there.
Okay, so I had some friends in high school that were a little older than me. I'm like kind of the young side of my class that turned 18 when they were still in senior year. So they ended up working for Roto-Rooter, and I always wanted to kind of follow in their footsteps. So when I graduated at 17, so I had little brief period there where I couldn't really get into restoration because you have to be 18. But as soon as I turned 18, I ended up getting on. Do you want me to say the company name?
Sure, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
I ended up getting on at Dry Effect down in Cincinnati.
Good people.
They are good people. They really took a chance on me, especially being 18. They started me as a lead technician, which pretty much doesn't happen in this industry. So taught me a lot, sent me to class, really took care of me. I ended up leaving there about a year and a half in and going to Teasdale Fenton. They took care of me quite a bit.
Yeah, we're good people there too.
Yeah, they are. Hunter's great. Adam's great. Jim's great. They're all really good people. Very different pace restoration company. Like they're one of the bigger ones in Cincinnati. Do a lot of commercial work, do a lot of insurance work. But I'm super thankful for my time there because they taught me a lot. They grew me as a person and as a restorer.
Yeah.
You know.
So, all right. So that leads you to here. Why don't you just talk about like what, you're the first person from restoration. Stu's been on the podcast, but I think you're the first water cleanup guy to be on here. So just talk about what the water cleanup department does here for us and how that differs from some of the other water restoration companies in town.
Okay, yeah. So we get a lot of our leads from the plumbers and the HVAC techs. So we get everything from water restoration to mold remediation to carpet cleaning to duct cleaning. A lot of other companies are quote unquote big enough to do like separate divisions. Like Teasdale had a carpet department, a duct cleaning department, pressure wash department, water, mold. But we kind of do it all, which is fine. I actually kind of like doing all of it because it allows you to become more of a roundabout professional. So.
Yeah, that's it keeps it interesting, man, for you guys, because you guys one day are doing a carpet cleaning or duct cleaning, and the next day doing a big water cleanup restoration job. So I know it's a lot different here. What we love about this is we're just able to take care of our customers. I just always felt bad walking into their house and saying like, hey, we'll pop this drain open for a couple $100 and then sorry about this. Here's a card for somebody, call them. Just felt like really bad customer service. Like we weren't even taking care of their biggest problem.
Right.
So you guys on your team allow us to really give exceptional customer service.
Yeah.
I know that you embody a lot of the values here, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but you're like you've got like that serve mentality. You want to take care of customers. Like talk about the rewarding side of that when you have this disaster in somebody's home and then you get it buttoned up for them looking good.
I would say in the 7 years I've been doing this, I've gotten hugs from over 100 customers.
That's cool.
Like when you're there for a disaster, they're paying you for it, and then they still feel the need to hug you and to thank you and stuff. It's extremely
That's
rewarding.
Really cool. Yeah, I know. And I mean, I think that with all the trades, that's that's what feels good about it, right? That's what I love about being in the trades. Water cleanup, though, it's one of those things that it just freaks people out. Like, people know they're probably going to have a drippy faucet or drippy drain or their heat's going to go out, but when like water is dripping through their chandelier or their ceilings caving in, like, that's one you don't expect.
Right. Definitely can't plan for it.
Totally. We're a bit unique in the fact that we have a plumbing company and HVAC, electric, and restoration.
Yeah.
Talk about the advantages of that, like that you see from the field.
So, I mean, there's a numerous amount of advantages to it. One is leads. In-house leads, you can really get on site a lot quicker since, like, half the jobs I go to, the plumber's still there or just left kind of thing. So it creates a quicker turnaround time instead of, calling around to a bunch of companies, seeing who can get out there same day. Like, we're there in an hour or two.
I think it's really cool because you're 25, but you are a very experienced restoration guy. 7 years, like, you have this really cool story where you're young, but you're very, very experienced.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody that maybe in high school or coming out of high school and they might want to get into the trades? What would you tell them about the restoration path that would be appealing?
So the thing that's appealing about the restoration path is a lot of these, like I call them the big three: electric, HVAC, and plumbing. A lot of them have a lot further turnaround time in terms of not necessarily just pay, but in terms of like getting out on your own. Like if somebody really cared and wanted to proceed with their career, restoration, I mean, you can learn most of what you need to know in like 6 months instead of 2 years as a journeyman and then, 4 years as a master kind of thing. Like, there's a lot quicker of a turnaround time if you care. I know helpers that have been helpers for 5 years.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you were 18 and you were lead tech.
Yeah, which kind of forced me to care. It was my job title reflected that I knew what I was doing, and the burden was on me at that point to figure out what I was doing and to take care of people.
Totally. So what have been some of your favorite things about working at Jolly?
Dude, the atmosphere here is crazy. I mean, you can't even walk through the kitchen downstairs without people cutting it up with you and asking how you're doing today. And the morale here is top notch. I mean, the employees, the customers even. I mean, we have so many JHP customers that just love us. And I take pride in making sure that they have a good experience and want to use us again in the future.
Yeah. Well, dude, you're a big part of that morale. Like, you're one of those guys that's always out smiling, making sure you're saying hi to everybody. And you bring it every day. You bring a positive attitude. We used to have the restoration company, as you know, Jolly Cleaning and Restoration was a separate business.
Yeah.
And it was a mistake that I had made in my career because when I started the restoration business, I just kept them completely separate. So cleaning and restoration had their own culture that was different. Not saying it was bad, but it was just different than the plumbing and heating and air culture. Yeah. And they were we were under the same roof, but we were kind of like ships passing in the night, not really on the same cadences or rhythms, communication rhythms. So it was just January last year. When did you start?
I started August of 25.
So you started in August. So in January of last year, 8 months or so before you started, we combined the division, into Jolly Enterprises, which is Jolly Plumbing, Drains, Heating, and Air, and now Water Restoration. I think it's one of the best things we've done because now, the plumbers see you guys every day. They see how hard of work it is. They're able to visualize, these are the guys that are working on it. This is what they have to do. They're really good dudes. We see them in the kitchen every day. Right. So just talk about that camaraderie and how you think it leads to that intermingling of business and passing business back and forth.
So it's definitely great. Like, I've learned so much about plumbing to the point where, like, I've even been selling plumbing stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, adversely, if I'm on a job with a plumber and I see stuff, I'll, like, go out of my way to kind of explain it, to not necessarily, like, annoy the plumber, but just say, hey, if you have a leaky wax ring and it's going down to the first floor from the second floor, most likely the damage on the first floor is not the only thing. That water is seeped under whatever finished floor is in that bathroom. And I think, like, one of our apprentices, Gavin, was with me one time, and I was just kind of explaining to him, all the stuff that could happen with, like, a leaky wax ring. And he was like, dang, there's a lot more that goes into that than I realized. Like, that's really good information to know, because now I can educate my customers on that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And I've seen this. Like I said, I regret not combining the companies earlier or even starting them together, because I just see that back and forth. Like, the plumbers are way more familiar with the cleanup side of things. You guys are more familiar with plumbing. HVAC guys are passing you the duct cleaning jobs. It's been a really good thing. And, that business, the part of the business you're in has traditionally been one of the smaller sides of our business. But you guys are blowing it up, man. You guys have an awesome team. I think you guys hit vision last month.
We did.
You're on pace to hit the vision number this month. You guys are killing it, man. As I like looking at the financials, I'm like, dude, water cleanup is coming. It's coming for the rest of the departments.
And honestly, like, in 3 years from now, I would love to 5x our revenue, profit margin, all that kind of stuff. I think it's totally doable.
Me too.
As long as we get the leads, I think there's really no cap to what we can do.
I totally agree, man. It's exciting, and especially getting good guys like you. We just have a good crew out there. Talk about the sales side, because we kind of look at you, like you said, you're a hybrid. You do everything, but you're one of the first guys in the house when there's a water issue, when water's flooded somebody's home or whatever it may be. You're one of the first guys in there. What process do you go through to talk to the customer, put them at ease, walk them through their options and solutions?
So initially, when you get on site, I always like to kind of gauge, are you guys paying out of pocket? Are you hoping to get reimbursed from your insurance company? That's kind of where I start, because that will not necessarily change my price, but it may change the scope of work for some things. And, like, may change some of my recommendations. So, like, if we only have to take out a 20 square foot section of carpet, I would recommend to the homeowner, if they're not going through insurance, to just put a different carpet in that room instead of trying to match, like, their whole first level or their whole second level with the same flooring. Like, yes, insurance will pay for that, but if you don't want your rates to go up and you don't feel like filing a claim, or you're scared if you file a claim you're going to get dropped, I'll kind of gear my advice to their situation.
Yeah.
Yep,
exactly. And, I think it's been cool. We have the service system that we teach, plumbing, heating, and air, and electric. It's kind of like built for that, but we've been able to mend that and, like, teach it to you guys too. And you guys do a great job of going through that process. We talk a lot here about mission, vision, and values. Obviously, you hear us talk about it in all of our trainings and everything else. Is there any value that sticks out to you that's your favorite? And there's a cheat sheet on the wall if you want to look at it.
I like here to serve. Like, as a home service business, we do it for the money, for the profit, obviously, but the best part about it is being able to take care of people in a situation where they're frantic, or they've been sitting there anxious all day with wet carpet in their basement. The thank yous that you get, the complimentary lunches that they'll buy you, like, I mean, I've had people cook me home cooked meals before at lunch. Like, that goes a lot further than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it feels good. We already talked about it. It just feels good taking care of people.
Yeah.
Especially, like, it's just such a helpless situation. I mean, I've had my house flood at my house. It sucks.
It's
the worst, man. So, yeah, it just puts people at ease. What about out there in the field? Has there been any, like, Anything crazy, interesting? Any cool stories you got?
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, but one of my favorites, it was when I was working at Dry Effect, like 18 years old. We found some adult content in a big chest full of like adult DVDs, and our boss Josh at the time had a semi-trailer outside their shop where he stored a lot of like just stuff that he didn't want to keep at his house, and we were messing with him, and we put all the DVDs like sporadically through his trailer, and he found him like a couple months later and really got a kick out of it.
Glad his wife didn't find him.
Yeah, honestly, me too. That would have been a bad conversation.
That's hilarious. That's a good one, though.
It was not my idea.
I was going to say at 18, that would have been a bold.
No, it was not my idea.
Been bold.
The guy who's actually running like their daily operations now, it was his idea. So
nice. That's funny. Well, dude, I just got to tell you, we are so grateful to have you at Jolly. It's been a game changer, honestly. Like we were trying to find our way in the water cleanup side, and after we merged companies, it was hard. Like we, had a new manager, Stu, who's doing a great job, but he'd been in it just a short period of time, so it wasn't like he had ever ran a water cleanup side.
Yeah.
It's not my strength. Like the technical side of it's not my strength. So we're like trying to figure it out. You came along. We've got some other really good guys now, and really starting to set that thing on fire. So, dude, I can't wait to work with you a long time and just watch that thing continue to grow. I agree. We can 5X this thing or more.
Or more. There's really no ceiling to what we can do, especially with the senior leadership that we have. I mean, you guys have built an insane business. Like,
Thanks.
Not just numbers wise, but like, I mean, I've worked at probably 5 or 6 companies like in my entire life, and this is by far the best ran, the best morale. So congrats to you.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Well, thanks for being on today, man. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
For sure.